Okay, hello everybody. Dear journalists, dear partners, and dear friends of FlixBus. Thank you all for coming here today and finding the time to participate in our press conference today. My name is Kaspar Kütt from Estonia, and I will help carry out this online event today. So as you all know, the main topic today is that FlixBus is relaunching its activities in the three Baltic countries, so Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. The previous launch was over a year ago, but as we all know, with Corona and everything, didn't happen quite exactly as planned. We have an agenda for today's press conference, and it is as follows. We have two keynote speakers. We have Mikael Lehmann, who is the managing director of FlixBus in the Poland, Baltics countries, and Ukraine. Also, we have Kamila Zalewska, who is the head of business development of FlixBus in Poland and Baltics. Basically, they are the so-called father and mother of FlixBus in Poland, Baltics, and Ukraine. They have both been in FlixBus for over 3.5 years, and since the end of 2017, they have been building FlixBus position in Poland from very scratch. Now they're taking over the responsibility to increase it in Baltic countries. The agenda will be as follows then. We have a summary of the previous year in Corona pandemic and how it influenced traveling. We have further details about the relaunch and further expansion in Baltic states and the current desired 2021 network. Finally, we have what FlixBus is doing to contribute to the local economy and further initiatives in that area. If you have any questions, then we will have a Q&A session at the end, but also you can leave any questions you have in the chat. You can raise your hand with Teams, and we will try to answer as many as possible. And we also ask just please do not record this meeting for all purposes. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mikael, who will speak now.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. It's really a good moment for us and happy moment to see you. One remark, Kamila is not mother of FlixBus in this area. She is the queen of the buses. So it's a small remark, but very important one. So not wasting any more time, going through the mobility industry and mobility in Flix for the past COVID months, and in fact over a year. We tried to adapt to the new situation from the very beginning, preparing like agile crisis navigation, including new processes of analyzing data, shutting down, reopening lines, analyzing the customer behavior, doing a lot of things internally to be ready for the restart. From the very beginning, we treated COVID as something that will be just a pause in our system, not something permanent. So from the very beginning, we're preparing to the moment that is happened last year for a little while, let's say, and it's happening now, so for the restarts. Therefore, we prepared a safety concept to increase the safety and hygiene of the buses, to follow the procedures that are imposed by all of the countries, to make our customers feel safe on board, and trust that the mobility and the buses, the trains are a safe mean of transportation, to be ready to come back even stronger in terms of our market readiness, answering expectations of our customers. To do that, we focused a lot on the tech angle that we have. So as we like to name ourselves the tech company in the mobility business. So we've increased the automation and scalability inside processes, including new features of our inside devices, of our inside processes, reviewing them after a few years of being the startup company to the scale of the company we are today, present in over 30 countries of the world, not only Europe, but also Asia, US, adding trains, so putting that all together into one system to have like full transparent overview of everything we are doing, and be able better to prepare the experience for the customer that is seamless, that is comfortable, that is easy to use for every customer, doesn't matter where he is coming from or in which market the person is present or which part of the mobility that we are offering the person wants to use. To do that, I think the key point to make it work like it worked was to keep the team together. So the team of experts, the team of the young entrepreneurial people who wants to deliver, who wants to make the difference and go like beyond what we've offered before. So there was a lot of processes, a lot of internal trainings, a lot of internal discussions, internal meetings to keep the people together, keep the motivation, despite, let's say, online world around, to make it work for the company and like keep them together. I have to say we succeeded. Like as you see, if you were on the conference last year, we have almost the same squad here. Like so we are there still. We are still motivated to bring back the company on wheels on the market. And as the outlook for 2021 says, we already did it on some markets. So we started in United States and United Kingdom, then France, Italy, DACH, and Poland. So those markets are already up and running since few weeks. We've also launched the biggest ever network of FlixTrain, first in Sweden, which is a new country for FlixTrain, and then restart in Germany with also the biggest number of lines ever. It's 5 lines operating since a few weeks, and we are adding more frequencies to that. Recent relaunches and today's expansion is Ukraine and Baltic states, so we still believe that our plans, pre-COVID plans, are still valid, still proper, and we say the same belief in the markets we've opened by that time. I think for Baltics, it's even more important to mention that we've opened it during COVID. So in the difficult time for traveling, for travelers, for mobility industry, but we were still confident that this is a good market, and like once the situation allows us to come back, here we are. So just short journey through this difficult months. Everything started March 2020 when we started to see the first waves of COVID in different European countries, and we started to shut down gradually the network from country to country. And at the same time, moving to the, let's say, emergency model of working that we've been doing for the past year, with increased safety and hygiene procedures, with much carefuler analysis of data in terms of like the mobility of people, restrictions imposed by different countries, which were unfortunately, as probably all of us know, not really coordinated between countries, which was quite difficult to manage and understand fully. But in this difficult time, in May and July, or between May and July, we managed to bring back our network to the market for our customers and expand to Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania for the first time ever. It was the first expansion in FlixBus during COVID, so we paved the path for the other countries like UK, for example, to show that even in difficult times, the mobility is as a necessity for people. People need to move, people like to move, and they have to have an offer on the market, and we are really happy to bring it for them. Summer season and towards the autumn again was hitting us with waves of COVID in different countries. So we were also again gradually shutting down the network following new restrictions, increase of new cases, etc. And in fact, the whole winter part, including December, normally peak season, was in majority of the countries a hibernation period, which we dedicated in full to doing, let's say, the internal kitchen, all of the formalities, all of the back-end stuff that not necessarily are visible from the outside, but we hope that today customers will see them in a better service they get, because we did our homework during those months when the buses were not on the road. And from the first quarter 2021, seeing the vaccination process going forward, seeing a lower number of cases, we started slowly doing our minimum network from country to country to understand better the customers' behavior. How do they come back to the market? How do they come back to moving from city to city, from country to country, and increasing gradually the scale of our operation, which brought us to April 21, where we had like full ramp-ups starting and moving one country after another with our green network expanding towards Baltics as well. Just shortly, one slide about our model again, because it is a year and like we tend to forget things, even myself. So just to mention a few points here. So we work on line basis with our bus partners. We create kind of like a joint venture on every line. That is like a joint project we do together, where we try to focus on the things we do best and leave the things that the bus partners, bus companies are doing best with them, which I believe the bus companies are absolute experts in fleet management, driver management, all of these travel operational stuff, which they are doing in cooperation with us to meet the standards and requirements of us and our customers, while we focus on the planning of the network, timetables, creating the licenses, doing the traffic control so that those buses are visible, moving around and everything, plus all of the commercial side that we do to inform our customers about our comeback to the market, about our progress, about new lines, so branding, PR, marketing and sales effort. And all of that combined in what we like to say is a FlixBus technology, because all of that is in fact an in-house development of FlixBus. These are not systems bought somewhere on the market. These are things developed by our tech angle that allows us to combine the work with our bus partners. Last thing here to underline, I think, which was super important in this crisis we had and we are hopefully finishing to have, is the long-term relations with our bus partners. So we didn't let go anyone. Everyone was like in this green family, figuring out how to survive until we can go back on the roads and start doing our job for the customers together. But of course, you need to pay the money to the lease companies, to your drivers, etc. So you need to figure out how to make those months together. And we did that together with our partners. We were working out the solutions to be able and be ready for today to restart in all of the countries. Just short glimpse to show you what happened, even though these difficult months were around us. So we measure it in a report and our impact on, like, let's say, environment by doing a Flix impact report, and we publish it regularly in Poland. Hopefully soon we will be also doing that in other states so that you can see exactly the effect. But as I like to say, transportation, especially road transportation, is not only climate friendly but also budget friendly. So the construction of our business is that, like, with every kilometer we make on the road, we pay it back to the state budgets, to the local budgets. So even though there's like a lot of discussions about exporting your revenues somewhere else and moving it to the headquarters, you cannot export taxes. And everything that is connected to that, we pay locally, because we have local partners, local drivers, we pay for the local infrastructure, we use the local fuel, everything else here. So the money stays everywhere our green buses reach. And I think this is a very fair division of the revenues and costs between big company and the countries that are partly participating in this network, because we pay for what we use and everyone feels the benefit, not only in terms of like increased mobility and, like, let's say, this intangible benefits for the customers, for the market, but also in those tangibles visible in the money. So just quick example for Poland, even though we didn't drive what we wanted, we brought over 6 million euros of direct impact to the budgets, to the state budget in Poland. I think for next year we will be able to present similar figures for other markets, and you will see exactly how those things work and how it benefits for all of the state budgets we meet in Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. All of that wouldn't be possible without our customers. I say a lot about it, but I think the whole fundament of FlixBus is answering the needs of the customer and changing the industry, the bus industry, towards the customer instead of being focused on the bus itself. And we love to measure the satisfaction and the numbers that the customers say, how do they feel about FlixBus. We use NPS, Net Promoter Score, to assess it. And super important part for this difficult months, that 73% of our customers were happy customers and satisfied with the service they received. And also even though it was difficult time and like they have increased safety, hygiene procedures that like are not easy because like wearing a mask is not super comfortable, as we all know after this year of wearing it. All of the notes and assessments towards those parts of our service went up. So the drivers are assessed higher than they were, bus, the comfort, hygiene also. The scale is from 1 to 5, so we scored almost maximum numbers here. And also super important in those uncertain times, customer service, where you can be surprised by, I don't know, new restriction or something happening and you need to change something with your ticket. We did our job and customers appreciated that. I'm very happy about it. This is like a good signal that customers know how the value of the good service is, and also they allow us to be there with them. In terms of the customer service and improving the customer experience, well, I think it should be as seamless as the travel itself. So as you are all managing your travel by your own, you should be able to manage everything you do on your own with your the features that you see on the website or whatever else, and you can rebook or do everything with your tickets with the service we are gonna get in automated way, fast and seamless. And a bit more about it. So starting with easy to use thing, I can say now that I'm absolutely sure it's the easiest way to book anything. It's 3 clicks from search to book a ticket. And it's not a coincidence that I've mentioned FlixTrain, because like if you book today from Vilnius to Berlin, you can also interconnect to our train with 1 ticket, 1 search, 1 transaction with guaranteed interconnection. This is almost like an airline service, but cross different ways of mobility that nobody else can offer. So like if you even search today from Vilnius to, let's say, Cologne, you will see an interconnection with train in Berlin, and it's visible on 1 ticket within 1 transaction, super easy to do. And that's visible everywhere in your web browser, in your app, wherever you want to do it. You just get a easy QR code for boarding. You don't need to print anything. You have everything in your app or in downloaded ticket. We also changed some other features or improved them, like Find My Bus. This is super important because like the buses, it takes some time until the bus arrives sometimes. I mean, the routes are long, and I don't think there is any use of a customer staying on the bus station and looking for his or her bus without knowing when it will arrive, especially in these given times where still sometimes a border control is happening when they are checking whatever COVID documents, tests or something like that, and that may cause some delays. I think the customer should have a transparent view when the bus will arrive or where somebody should pick them up. Going forward, we've implemented the full seat reservation. It means that you have 2 types of seats, that you always can get a seat for free without any extra surcharge, but you will get a fixed number of your seat in that case, or you can select it on your own. But it's important that there is like no discussion on board, and in fact less contact between passengers with the discussion, I was sitting here, I was sitting there. You get the number, you have a sticker with the number over your seat, you select seat, and the comfort of your travel is done. Last but not least is this self-management tool. So like, as I said before, as you are managing your travel on your own, I think everyone who wants to do that should be able to also manage his booking. So even adding luggage, you figure out during the course of action that finally I have a bigger suitcase, or I need more luggage to myself, so I can take it. Also important to mention, the lines that you will see today, they all have bike racks on them, so you can take your bike safely. It's outside of the bus, so it will not get destroyed, and you can travel with your bike, which I think in the COVID times became extremely popular, and traveling was, I think, always difficult part of long distance travel, what to do with my bike and how to find my bike there. With us, it's not. So going to the relaunch part and the most important details. So one last slide about the background of the relaunch. So we did some homework, not only in terms of internal stuff, but also external. So we've analyzed carefully the results for the last week, did some changes in our network, did some adjustments towards what the customer expected, what they searched for, which lines and relations were the most popular, where do we see the biggest demand from the customers. And we included all of that in our expansion plans. Second of all, we were handling all of the difficult administrative stuff, which of course in the COVID period, when everything is done online, you cannot physically go to somewhere to, show your face in being identified, was even more complex than before, but we were doing that for the past few months. And we started ramp-ups in other countries. They were for long postponed because this third wave or whatever wave in other countries of the infections were still there, or the vaccinations were too slow and the restrictions were there. But finally we did successful ramp-ups in Poland, Germany, and across whole Europe. And now the time is like, as we move east and north, to go to the Baltics. In the meantime, we also founded all three companies in all three countries, as we said last year, that we will have an entity on all of those countries. So we have FlixBus Estonia, FlixBus Latvia, and FlixBus Lithuania. FlixBus Estonia is already even a carrier. Latvia and Lithuania will come to that. This is always a complex bureaucratic process, but we do that in all countries so that you can also see visibly the tangible effect of our presence. These are entities that are helping us to get concessions, and if you have a concession on an entity, that means you also get revenues visible there on the market spreadsheet. So I think this is exactly how you should be doing that, and this is the way we do that. So we have those FlixBus entities all over the world, including Baltic states. And enough of my speech for this moment. Mother of all buses. We can't hear you, Kamila.
Thank you, Michał. Thank you for this broad introduction and the background. And finally, I'm really proud and happy to present to you the result of our work for the last year and even much longer than a year. So the network that we have prepared and planned, and actually this is the network that was supposed to be launched a year ago. This is the network that connects Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia with our FlixBus network in the whole Europe. We were supposed to launch it last year. So we really can't wait when we will see those green buses on the road finally reaching their destinations. But everything's ready, everything's prepared, and finally we can announce start of sales of first lines. So what you see here in this map, this is our network that consists of 16 lines altogether, and this is the network that we are actually ready to start any day now. We will not do it at the same time. We will not do it now. We will do it in stages. I will go to the details in a second. What you see here, this is the network that connects 8 European countries, including, of course, 3 Baltic states, but also direct connections to 5 other countries, like Germany and 2 cities in Germany, Berlin, and also trains, airport, but also Frankfurt, Oder, not only Berlin. This is also Austria, with 1 stop in Vienna. The line to Austria goes also through Slovakia, so we also have additional 3 stops in Slovakia, including Bratislava, 4 cities in Czech Republic, of course Prague, and over 30 cities in Poland with direct connections to Baltic states. So this is everything that we have planned. And altogether, this network will require 33 buses, 33 green buses to be operated. And of course, this network, as Michał mentioned when he was describing our business model, this network will be operated by our bus partners. Like we cooperate with local carriers, local companies. We have over 30 bus companies in Poland that cooperate with us. And we have already started cooperation with first local company from Lithuania, Olex, which will operate most of this network. So most of this network will be operated by them. And finally, hopefully, very soon we will also start cooperation with companies from Latvia and Estonia as well, and we will have more local bus partners. Also, Polish bus partners will operate lines from Poland to Baltic states, but altogether no more than five bus partners will work to operate this network. Of course, as I said, we will not launch it. We're not launching everything now. This is, I would say, our final end state, the final network that we really hope to launch this year. So if everything goes well, and it will depend on various factors, we will launch this full network. We will start with core lines. I will describe them in details. And then we will see. We are analyzing the data that we have from bookings, from pre-bookings, on daily basis. So our decisions of further restart and launch of lines will, of course, depend on the demand, but will also depend on the restrictions in all the respective countries. So Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, but also the countries where our destination countries like Czechia or Austria. So all travel rules, capacity restrictions will be important here to take this decision of further restart. Good for us that all these restrictions are lifting now. The vaccination rate is increasing. So we are very optimistic, and we truly believe that this summer, this holiday, all the network that you see here in the slide might be started. Okay, so I think we can go to our first stage. I know this is the most important part, because these are the lines that actually, starting from today, are on sale, and you can already buy tickets to all those connections. This is our core network. So these are the lines that actually cover all 13 bus stops in Baltic states. We have in our network 13 cities, and we want to connect them with our core network, with those 5 lines that you see here, and start operation of those lines will start on 10th of June in most of the cases. So what are those lines? Their main goal is to connect capital cities and to connect them with our hubs in Berlin and Warsaw, because from Warsaw and Berlin you can easily interconnect to many destinations, to trains, to all other countries that we have in our FlixBus network. So this is the main goal of this core network. We start with 4 days a week of operation. So those lines will be mostly operating from Thursday to Sunday for the beginning. And week by week, we will be increasing frequencies, analyzing the data, and adding more trips, more buses. We're starting with 8 branded buses who will operate those lines. The first line, N1323, from Vilnius to Berlin, this is actually the line that already starts operation today. So the first bus from Berlin to Vilnius will be departing today, exactly at 6:50, and will reach Vilnius tomorrow morning. So the tickets are already on sale. 4 further lines will start their operation on June 10th, and the tickets are also already on sale, and they are on sale till October. That means that our passengers can now already plan their holidays and book tickets for the whole summer season until October. So the first line, N1323, from Vilnius to Berlin, it's almost 18 hours of travel. It's a pretty long line, but I guess not the longest in the network, but the longest from the ones that you see here. It also includes cities like Vilnius, Kaunas, Marijampolę, in Poland, Suwałki, Augustów, Białystok, Warsaw, Poznań, Konin, Świebodzin, and goes to Berlin. In Berlin, and most of the capitals we usually have more than one bus stop. The second line is a domestic line. It's a day line. It's a day line from Vilnius to Warsaw with a bit different routing. So very attractive touristic destinations in this line. It's a line from Vilnius, Trakai, Alytus, Druskininkai, also to Poland, and line terminates in Warsaw. During the day, 8.5 hour of travel time, with nice interconnections in Warsaw to the south, to also our lines that we already launched in Poland to Prague, to other capitals, and actually from Warsaw you can directly go to Brussels, Amsterdam, France, many destinations available, and over 100 destinations in Poland itself at the moment, which will increase up to 200 during this summer. The third line here, also pretty long one, almost 18 hours of travel from Tallinn, Pärnu through Riga, also Riga Airport, Jelgava, Šiauliai, Kaunas, to Warsaw, almost 18 hours of travel time. This is a night line, and the last combination of day and night line, 1234 line from Tallinn to Vilnius. This line actually doesn't touch Poland. It only connects cities within 3 Baltic states. So Tallinn, Pärnu, Riga, Bauska, Panevėžys, and Vilnius. We are also planning to add airport in Vilnius. This will not happen this summer yet, but I hope that as soon as this will be possible, formally we will also include airport in Vilnius to the network and also add it to our lines. So this is the stage 1. These are the lines that are already, like, the drivers are already ready to hit the road. Next stage should happen in the end of June. So we will not wait long, but in 2-3 weeks we should be launching additional lines. The frequency and final destination list will depend on the demand and the restrictions. We're watching this closely, and soon, actually within a week or 2, we will take a final decision about further restart. So definitely Vilnius, Czechia, Slovakia. This will be Austria. Will be the cities that we would like to add in a second wave. Okay, maybe let's proceed. So just to sum up our offer for a start in a nutshell, 24 destinations within 5 countries are on sale already now, starting from today. 13 cities in Baltic countries for now, and this is the final number of cities that we will have this year. But of course, 2021 is not the last year of our expansion, and hopefully in 2022 this number will also increase. We are already thinking about our further expansion in this region, but for now this will be 2 stops in Estonia, 3 stops in Latvia, and 8 more in Lithuania. 5 regular lines operated, 8 buses, 8 up to 10 buses operated by Olex, our bus partner from Lithuania, also Jacques from Augustów, and Inter, our biggest bus partner in Poland. So those 3 companies will be operating on those lines. All buses are modern, comfortable, and they also include buses with special branding. We're especially proud of those buses. You'll have a chance to see them, I hope, in a second. And and I guess generally this is it. Really happy that it's finally happening. We really waited long to announce it and to finally be on road.
So just a few words about standard, maybe just to be, reminding the thing that we do globally all the time, but this is the same highest standard that you have in all green buses all over the world. Doesn't matter which country you enter the bus. Is it Baltics? Is it US? Is it, I don't know, France or Italy? So first, the safety part, we hire always the 2 drivers concept for the night lines. And as you saw, 2 lines are in fact 3 lines are the night lines from Baltics towards Poland and Germany. So you can be assured that you are safe with 2 drivers exchanging every 2 hours to be fresh and ready to drive. Of course, our buses are modern in terms of like the eco-friendliness. So this is Euro 5, Euro 6. In terms of like their age, in fact, those that you see in Baltic states are like up to 3 years old, so super new. Comfortable legroom, 76 centimeters. This is above 30 cells if we go to the comparing to airlines. So like really good legacy carrier, a lot of space for even very tall people. Free Wi-Fi and power sockets on every bus next to your seat so that you can use your own device, upload it and everything else. There is increased hygiene concept that of course is necessary, so we are boarding through the middle doors. We do not touch anything with the driver, so it's a contactless boarding. We are adding also this disinfection of the buses, and you can disinfect your hands. And so far, of course, the masks covering nose and mouth is obligatory by the law also on our buses. And of course, the important features, but I think already well known by our customers, so toilets, seat reservation system, and the bike racks that I've mentioned on most of the lines, except I think the line to Berlin. All of the others have the bike racks. So in fact, you can go on all of the relations with your bike being carried safely in full shape without any additional difficulties. And if we go further to the branding, so I will remind it, I really like those Baltic states brandings. I have to say I'm a bit jealous because I think we mastered it with those ones and they are better than the Polish one, which was prepared a few years back. So I think this year or next year we have to prepare a new version of the Polish one to match the standard. So this is of course Estonia with most important monuments and the flag. This is Latvia. It's also nice. All of them are on Mercedes buses, so you can see on this symbol and the same model of the bus. And the third one, of course, Lithuania with the Trakai Castle on the side and some other monuments as well. Very important thing, we always try not to stick anything to the glasses so that the customers have full view of what is outside. And we believe that especially in Baltics there's a lot of nice things to see, a lot of nature as well while you travel to Poland or further. And of course, cherry on a cake, without this there would be no good restart. So we have a promotional tickets with price starting from 499 euros for all the international trips between 10th and 13th of June. So upcoming 3 months from the first days of operation. So you can find them on every trip. But I can tell you already that you need to hurry, because I already saw that some people already booked once we've opened the sales during the conference. I already saw more than 10 tickets sold on the lines that we are talking about. So the customers are, we believe became true. They are coming back to us and they really want to move and have enough of, staring into the screens on Zoom, Teams and other calls that you may have, and they finally want to breathe fresh air and have some kind of relief from COVID and putting it behind. So that's it from our side. We are of course open for all of the questions you have. We stay here, and yeah, now the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Camila. Thank you, Michal, for the very detailed information. And yes, so now the stage is open for all of your questions, journalists, partners, friends. The floor is yours. If you want to, you can show your hand. If you want to, you can write into the chat. All chances are yours.
Maybe everything was clear.
Or like everyone felt asleep.
Well, if there are no questions at the moment, then I'll kick off myself. Just a little question. Do you have some kind of a client loyalty program planned, or do you have something going at the moment?
No, we don't have a loyalty as itself, as it's believed by all of the, let's say, typical and legacy carriers. We believe that what is good is the attractive price that you have for all of the customers, not only those who are all the time with you, but who are returning, who are the new customers, newcomers, and they all should have the good offer available, as you have now with the price promo, starting with very attractive and affordable price from less than €5 on international lines. And one more thing I can tell you already, like as we track it, of course, we see a lot of customers in Poland, DACH and other countries returning to FlixBus after almost a year of not traveling with us. So they didn't forget the green color. They still want to move with us, and customers are returning back. And I hope that they will find the customer experience even better than it was before or the last time they were traveling with us.
I don't speak Estonian, but I can get the question about Tartu and Narva. Yes, we do plan to incorporate them in our network, but not this year probably. The lines that were presented today do not include those bus stops. But as I maybe mentioned somewhere between the lines, we are already planning further expansion, and those cities will be also included in the network. But this will probably not happen this year. Like those cities won't be on sale this year, probably next year.
Okay, so I can take the next one. How many tickets you sell with the lowest price or the maximum price? So there is no answer to that, because this is changing every day, almost every minute, on different days, different parts of the day, different parts of the week or seasonality. We do the dynamic pricing, which means that if you plan in advance, you will always find the cheap and affordable tickets with the lowest price available. And once you get closer to your departure date, or especially in the peak season, the price will naturally go out with the bus getting full. But we believe that mobility is for everyone. We should be able to book ourselves even with a limited fund, but a better planning. And somehow we try to find the balance between like what is needed by the customer and like the mobility itself and where the business lays. So I think it's a fair also division of the prices that you can always find it. It's not a flat pricing that is like maybe not affordable for everyone. It's attractive if you can book in advance, and you always find something cheap. I can assure you about that.
And how many buses? How many? Yeah, I'm learning Estonian slowly. How many?
I would say pretty quickly.
How many bikes may be taken on the bus? It's generally free. Well, the bike racks allow us to take three bikes with us, but some buses can actually contain more bikes
up to 5
as a luggage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. I see a question here. Do you plan a stop at Latvia-Estonia border? So, Ed, you want to take it, Kamila?
Well, it's like I don't want to confirm this, because with the border crossing, it's sometimes it's like it's not easy to plan it and then to receive authorization and the application as it was perfectly planned. But we, as I said before, yes, we want to have more cities in the network in all the countries. So, but not this year for sure. So this may happen, but in 2022. And also we're taking all the ideas, here. So it's still possible that if we hear some nice ideas even here today, it may happen in 2022.
Yeah, I can add to that like, guys, we are a data-driven company, and I said it on 2 press conferences already, and I will say it again. If you want your city or a specific bus stop to appear, search for it. Search for it, we will find the data, and then it will be much easier for us to convince the network planners to add a city. So we always are saying that you want a line to be opened, search for it in Google or in other places, we will find out the data and we will make use of it, good use of it. This is one of the sources that we use for our network planning. I see here a question about do you plan discounted prices for children, young people, pensioners? So we generally, we of course follow all of the legally obligatory discounts that are necessary in terms of the prices. So on some markets there are such rules. So we of course follow them, and those customers, those special types of customers are offered the discounts that they need to have. On the other hand, we do not offer anything on top of that because I believe that €5 is something already discounted. So if you plan with advance, as I said before, you can always find a low price, not only for this special type of customers, but for every type of customer. I don't think that like what we are doing, what we do perform at the job or anything like that should make us not allowed to have a cheap ticket. I think everyone should be able to find it because it's for everyone, and mobility is so beneficial to our, like, if we see it especially in COVID times, for our mental health and for everything that we really needed. So we see it like with increased demand once, I don't know, hotels are opening, restaurants are opening, even with restrictions, even with some sanitary rules on top of that, people are searching for travel options, and therefore they should be able to have discounts for all of them at once and use it for their own sake and in their own way. And on top of that, the neighbor free seat will be permanently available. Yes, it is. You can always book it. The fee is the same regardless of the ticket price. So you can book the seat next to you. I can tell you more. If you are kind of like afraid of crowds still, or you are not vaccinated yet and you don't feel like super safe sometimes, I understand that despite like the researchers say that public transport is safe, and there were not many cases happening in the public transportation, but you can still check on our website, on the mobile site, how crowded the bus is. So there are very simple indicators of like what's the number, like not exactly the number of people, but if the bus is full or it's half empty, so you can know what would be something you will expect on, you can know what you can expect on the bus.
I think maybe it's also worth mentioning that we are generally blocking 2 seats, the row behind the drivers, to also make sure that they are safe. So, and with the pretty wide space between seats, we actually on the buses, on the regular buses that operate lines to Baltic states, we will have no more than 51, 47 passengers. So I guess it's not that, it can't be crowded too much.
Yeah, accessibility of the buses. I mean, like probably for disabled passengers. So this is something we are implementing on more and more of the lines. It's not on all lines. This is always difficult, unfortunately, to make. But on single deckers, we also, especially going to DACH where it's required, we have lifts. So special equipment for the disabled passengers. But if you are not sure if like you will be able to board on the bus, you can always get in touch with our customer service, and they will check exactly in the system which bus you can take or how we can solve the issue you have. So as we said, the bus is accessible for everyone.
But if you are asking about lifts, whether the buses will be equipped with lifts for disabled people, well, those buses doesn't have that. The ones that are starting now, they are all new buses, but they are not equipped with lifts.
Yes, it seems that we got quite a lot of good questions out, and first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today and spending an hour with FlixBus and all of us helping. And so the next stage, we're going to send out the press release quite soon with more information about the whole relaunch and some photos as well of the nice Baltic redesigned buses. And yes, that's that's all for now, it seems. Thank you everybody for coming.
So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I just want to say one last thing, that like for us in office here, it's really a moving moment, because we've opened all the markets we are managing, and we can now focus really on what's on the road, and hopefully everything bad is behind us, and now we are just focusing where to go, where to travel, who to see that we didn't see for the past months, and we can enjoy it. We can have it quickly, cheaply, affordably, in easy and comfortable conditions. So thank you very much for participation. Also, by the number of people that are here, I see that there is interest in moving. Not only, I perceive it not only FlixBus, but also like the mobility, traveling, and like moving out of your flat. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you on board of our green buses.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And that's all. Hit the road now.